out here after 30 years, yeah, I ain't got nothing, but I'm gonna have something because I'm rich in personality, you know, and I'm rich in love. My family love me, and that's really all that counts. Peace and blessings, man. Shout out to everybody out there on Team Banky Pound, man. Appreciate the love, appreciate the support. We back again, man. We back at it again. You know, I've been giving y'all these cellmate editions, and it's crazy that most of my sellers was crazy, because trust me, I had some crazy ones, but I also had some good sellers along the way as well. And this one is a story about a little young dude that came in the cell with me, man. I think he was like 18 or 19 when he came in the cell with me. WhiteBoy Cody, man. WhiteBoy Cody, family. I'm talking about, he was a good dude, man. He was a good dude. He was young. He was coming in, I think he's from Richmond. He talked like a black guy as well, but he didn't give you that persona like he was faking. That's just what was his culture. That was where he grew up, how he grew up, the people he hung around. Most of the people he hung around was, you know, African-American people. So that's the culture that he took to as he was growing up. I remember they put him in the cell with me. I remember when he came in, I'm looking at him like, oh, man, this little young buck, you know. But like I say, he turned out to be a cool dude. We got to kicking it. We talked a lot, man. I tried to give him good game. The one thing that threw me off about him, he said he was a blood. He was in a gang. He said he been doing it since he was 11, 12 years old. So I'm like, man, come on, dog. Come on. So I used to, you know, talk to him about it and give him my opinion about it, because he was in the cell with me and he asked me. And I used to tell him all the time, man, I just don't see the purpose in it. You know, you locked up, I don't see the purpose in it. And then on top of that, at the time, I don't know a lot about the gangs. So I don't even know that, you know, I ain't never seen a white blood, you know, a white crip or nothing like that. So I don't even know how that go, how that dynamics is. So he was like, I've been doing it, whatever, whatever. So at this time, the gangs were starting to, you know, filter in the system more and more anyway. So it was just becoming a gang prison, you know, Virginia. But it's a gang prison now. Trust and believe me. Before I got out, oh yeah, there's gangs everywhere. But at this time, it was just starting. I think we was in. Oh yeah, and shout out to somebody who told me to give y'all these time frames so y'all know what time frame I was talking about. That is a good idea. So salute to you, whoever you are. This was about 2002. About 2002, around 2002, 3, right up in that area. So yeah, so the gangs were starting to infiltrate the prisons now. You know, they was making their presence known more and more on each and every institution. So they had little leaders and, you know, head of the gangs, head of this, head of the blood, head of the Crips, head of the GDs, so on and so forth. So they acted like, at the time that he was in the cell with me, they acted like they accepted him. You know, like, okay, yeah, you know, your credentials is all right. They do background checks on you, whatever. You supposed to be in a blood, you know, on the street. You know, yeah, you know, you're a white boy, whatever, but you know what I'm saying? This is what you rep. We accept you. That's how they was acting, you know. Now, I was suspicious of the situation the whole time. And I'm trying to tell him. But I'm thinking they acting like that because he in the cell with me, you know. And if he in the cell with me, I don't care what's going on. Ain't nobody coming up in that cell do no foolishness unless they go through me. That's just how it's going down, you know. So I didn't understand the situation. I used to talk to them about it. They stop at the door sometime, ask for them, tell them to come out. They go, they talk, you know, they gang talk or whatever. Man, this man actually had homework assignments and questionnaires and, you know, paperwork to do dealing with his gang affiliation, which was, it was just absurd to me, you know, because I'm like, you could be doing a whole lot of other things and this is what you doing, you know. And I think he had a fresh like 22, 23 year sentence under the new law now. So that means he got to do like 85% of that. So you do the math and figure that out. That's what he had to do. Coming in fresh at 18, 19 years old. never been in prison before, and you're a white boy, you know, so you got a lot to deal with. And, you know, I'm trying to let him know what's going on at the time because I done been locked up a minute, you know. So I'm trying to give him game because he in the cell with me. And like I say, he seemed to be a good dude. He got a good family behind him. His mom, she look out for him. He had a couple of brothers. They was younger than him. I think he the oldest. So I used to just try to keep giving him game, man. I liked him. He was a good dude. He was young. You know, I used to get him. I got him into working out, trying to take care of his body. I used to try to put some philosophy in his head, let him know you got to take care of your body while you in here. You know, you got to be strong. You got to be mentally, physically, spiritually strong to make it through what you got to go through, because you get ready to go on a journey like you never been on before. And I used to try to tell him that, to let him know and try to prepare him. But at the same time, you got the gang forces. He listening to them too. They in his ear, giving them other rules and regulations, some gang stuff. How you gonna have to curb in here while you a gang member? You gonna have to do this. You gonna have to do that. Basically, I used to counter that and let them know, you get ready to be a child again. These your parents. If they're gonna tell you what to do, and they're gonna tell you when to do it and how to do it, and what they tell you may jeopardize your freedom, may jeopardize you getting out here on the time you're supposed to get out here, making you maybe not even be able to get out here at all, you know, then that's up to you. But if you want to listen to them, that's your choice. But I'm letting you know, to me, if you ask me, that's asinine, man. That's crazy. You got some time to do, and you gonna come here and listen to another man when you already got to listen to these guards. You already got to listen to this administration. You already got rules and regulations upon you every day, and you gonna listen to another dude that's in the same position that you in. To me, I couldn't comprehend it. But when you trying to tell somebody something, you can't force feed them that information. You got to let them get that information on their own. And they're not going to process it no matter how much you give it to them. They're not going to process it until they feel like processing it. And, man, I used to try to just give him that game, man, because I felt like he was a good dude. And I felt like he was just misguided as far as with that gang situation. But all in all, like I say, he was sharp. He was smart. He had a good mind. He had a sharp mind. You know, he said he used to get good grades in school. He had a sharp mind. He you know, I liked him, and I used to try to encourage him, opposed to just trying to put him down or talk dirty to him and let him know, oh, this gang, you and this gang stuff. Woo. I don't use that route, because when you go at somebody like that, you automatically gonna turn them off. They're not gonna want to listen to you because you always coming at them with negative stuff. I didn't dwell that much on the negative because I didn't feel like he needed that. I felt like he needed to know the positive. He needed to know what he could do, what he could do with his life, what he could do with this time that he had in front of him, how he could use it constructively, how he could use it to benefit him. But at the same time, if you deal with this gang stuff, man, it's gonna get you late. I said, I'm letting you know because I've been here, I understand what's going on. He respected me and he listened to me a lot. And I knew it was a little struggle with him in his mind, because he wanted to take heed of what I was saying, but he was also taking orders from other people, you know. So it was just a crazy dynamic, man. But I like the dude a lot, man, because he was young and I wanted to protect him, but I wanted to protect him whereas I was giving him game like a big brother. And I think the gang members knew, because by then I already got a reputation. They knew who I was, you know, and they knew I won't play no games whatsoever. So they didn't come at me with no type of foolishness or nothing. They always came at me with respect. They always came at me knowing, you know what I'm saying, that if I say something, I meant what I said. And if you come to that cell, even if you coming for him, just come with some respect. Don't, you know, be coming up in here with that foolishness. I ain't want to hear no gang talk. I ain't want to hear no gang moves, no gang rules. I didn't want to hear none of it because it didn't apply to me. So if y'all want to talk that type of talk, y'all take that somewhere else away from the cell. That was my whole situation with what was going on. So I used to just let them know, man, you know, make the best decision for yourself, but I'm just letting you know what I think. This is just my opinion. But ultimately, you're going to have to make the decision on what you're going to do and how you're going to do it, you know. He listened to me, man, to a certain extent, but at the same time, he listened to them as well. So, you know, at that time, they weren't really getting into a whole lot. They was doing a little bit, them gangs in there. They extorting dudes. They, you know, they got their little... to me, it seemed like they was just beating up each other more and more. Each other. Because they had rules and regulations. If somebody violated, then they get beat up. And, you know, it seemed like they took more beatings amongst themselves than they was putting on other people. So that right there, to me, was alarms that went off in my head. And I try to point those things out to him when they happen so he can see it in real time. But like I said, man, he was so caught up and he was trying to be so loyal, which at some point I respected that about him because he was doing it since he was young. I respected the fact that he was loyal to what he was doing. But you could be loyal to the wrong cause. Understand that now. You can be loyal to the wrong cause. You have to be sure what you putting your loyalty behind and who you putting your loyalty behind. Loyalty is a great quality, but if it's misrepresented or if it's misplaced, then it's useless. It's useless. So I try to make him understand that. But like I say, being that he was of the age that he was, he couldn't understand it. He couldn't comprehend it. It was going to take something drastic to make him understand what was going on. Now, around this time came, he had been in the cell with me now, man, maybe probably about well over a year, maybe a year and some change, man. And I had no problems with him. He always was a good seller. He always, you know what I'm saying, was respectful. He ain't bring no drama to the cell. He respected the cell. I liked him like a little brother, like I said, so I always looked out for him. The people knew, the pod knew that I liked him as a cell partner. So at the same time, it was understood that this is like my little brother. So even if he in a gang or whatever he in, if you have some drama with him, you're going to have some drama with me. So that was an unspoken understanding that they knew because he was my cellie. So they knew I rocked with him because if I didn't rock with him, he wouldn't have been in the cell with me that long. So like I said, that added a whole different dynamic to people dealing with him. So it also may have caused a little confusion because he got so relaxed and he believed that, you know, everything that was going on was, you know, how his whole bit was going to go. You know, people going to respect him just because he a blood or whatever, and ain't nobody going to mess with him and everything going to be all right. His bit going to be like smooth selling. He ain't going to have no whole lot of drama or whatnot. Nah, it don't work like that. Nah, it don't work like that at all, man. And I try to tell him over and over again, but like I say, sometimes things fall on deaf ears. Sometimes you have to learn yourself to really understand what's going on, especially if you walk into a situation. See, he walked into a good situation. I told him off of day one, and he'll tell you, I told him off of day one when he came in the cell with me after I got a little good feel of him. I said, man, they couldn't put you in a better situation, man. You don't need to be nervous. You don't need to be, you know, scared or nothing. You all right? I know you just starting your sentence and everything. I said, but I've been down a while. You cool, man. They put you in the cell with a good dude. I'm going to look out for you. If there's anything I can help you with, I'm going to help you, bro. So just go ahead on. I know how you feel. I was you one time coming in the cell first when I came into prison, nervous. You know, I can see you nervous. All right, you nervous. I can see you nervous. But I'm just letting you know you cool. You all right. You know, and like I said, he turned out to be all right. And like we got along real well. As time went on, it was like a year and something we was in the cell together. Then all of a sudden, out of the blue, they get ready to make all these great big renovations. They get ready to make all these moves. So they start moving people around. They coming in there moving, telling people to just pack up, move. We got you going here. We gonna sign you over here. Da. So shores, I don't know what, man. They come to our cell. And I'm the barber, so I ain't moving. I got to cut hair in the part. But what they was doing was they was making this block that I was in into a worker's block. If you didn't have a job either in the kitchen or in the block, they was going to move you. He didn't have a job. I was the part barber, so I got a job. So now they're going to move him. So we try to talk to the supervisor and everything about getting him a job, trying to keep him up here, don't move him, woo. They won't go on for it. They said he ain't got no job. Maybe if the lieutenant, somebody give him a job later on, he might get moved back, but right now we got to move. So they move him out the block, move him downstairs in my same building, but downstairs. When you come in the building, you got one block over here, one block over here, then you got to go up the stairs and you got a block over here, block over here. That's the block we in, upstairs to the left. He ended up moving downstairs to the right. So he's not even in the same block with me. Only time I would ever see him is doing recreation or outside doing going to commissary or in transition, you know, when he on the yard and we going somewhere else. That's the only time I was gonna be able to see him. So, man, I didn't want to move because, like I said, I don't like getting new sellers. Because as y'all already know, you never know what you might get. The good, the bad, the ugly, or the unbelievable. So with all that, he was a good seller, you know. Man, they moved him. And he won't gone probably 2 weeks. It couldn't even have been 2 weeks. It was less than 14 days. I'm coming up from rec one day. And I'm sweating, I've been working out, I'm you know, my adrenaline pumping. And as I walk in the block, I see dude sitting at the table and everything, and dude called me over there, and he was like, and when I was coming up the stairs, back up, I was coming up the stairs, I remember coming up the stairs and saw a little blood in the stairway. So I figured somebody got the running down there or whatever may be. I remember seeing little blood drops in the stairway because, you know, you be in tune to that type of stuff as you moving around in prison. So I remember seeing that. So as I get up and I go in the block, I remember the dude calling me over to the table. They were sitting at the table conversating about 2 or 3 dudes. And he said, "What's up, man?" I said, "What's up?" So he said, "Man, that's crazy, ain't it, man?" I said, what you talking about?" He said, "It's crazy, man, with Cody." I said, "What you talking about?" He said, "You know, what happened to Cody?" I said, "What happened to Cody?" He said, "Man, you know, the dude's supposed to have jumped him down in the stairway and stuff." I said, "Who?" So he says, I think it was the blood dudes. I said, "The blood dudes?" He was like, "Yeah, man, I think they jumped him in the stairway or something." Somebody said he got stabbed up. Man, I was in a fit of rage. You heard me? I was like, "What?" He was like, I said, man, I went straight to the booth. I was like, "Open the side door, miss. I think I dropped my ID on the stairway." She was like, "What?" I said, "I dropped my ID on the stairway. I'm trying to get it for somebody to get it." I go out there in the stairway and I just jet down to their building. I go downstairs and go right to their block. And I bang it on the side door trying to get somebody's attention so they could see me. So I remember seeing my homeboy Spider in there. So I waved him down. I was trying to wave him down. The lady in the booth wouldn't let me in because she know I don't belong in there. So I'm trying to wave Spider down. He run over there. He see me. So it's a little crack. I'm hollering through the crack. I said, "Man, what's up with Cody?" He said, man, I think he messed up." I said, "Where he at?" He said, "He up in the cell, man, but he bleeding and stuff. I think they get ready to come get him." I said, "Who?" He said, "The police, man." I said, "What happened, though?" He said, "Man, I don't know." I say, "Ask him what happened." I say, "Tell him to tell you who did it. Tell him to tell you who did it." I just wanted to know who did it. I wanted to know what happened, but more importantly, I wanted to know who did it because I knew they was getting ready to come get him, and I knew they was going to lock him up, and man, I was furious. Yeah, man, I wanted to know who did this to my dude, man. I was just furious, man, because I'm like, first of all, how is the Bloods going to do it to him when he a Blood? You see what I'm saying? So I didn't get that. So I'm mad, man. I'm really in one of them rages. Like somebody get ready to get this business. So Spider come back. He said, "Man," he said, "don't worry about it, man. Don't get in trouble. He good." I said, "Man, tell him." I said, "Come here." He said, "Man, he can't, man." So the police was hollering, telling me, "Get away from the door. Get away from the door." People, I don't already call the people. So, man, I'm like, "Tell him, man, send me some word, man, of what's going on." So I leave. I go on back upstairs. I'm like I say, I'm in a fit of rage. You know, I'm saying, you know, because this is like my little brother. You know, and I feel highly disrespected. So when I go up there, and I go in the building there, and some blood dudes and still in my block. I go straight to the head blood dude. I'm looking for him. So I go to his cell, and he ain't in there. You know, but he got 2 dudes, literally, man, you can't make this stuff. He literally got 2 blood dudes standing at his door like on guard. So I'm like, where dude at, man? He said, he ain't in here. I said, well, where he at? He said, I don't know where he at. I said, man, don't play with me, man. You know what I'm saying? So he said, he ain't in here, he ain't in here, Bank. I said, yeah, all right. So I said, tell him I'm looking for him. So as I'm walking back to my cell, I see him over there in another person's cell. And he called me, he said, Bank. So I turn around, I go over to him. He a big cat too, big old boy, about 6'5". So I walk over to him. I said, man, what's up with Cody, man? You know, what's the business with Cody? He said, I don't know, man. I ain't called that shot. He said the OG called that shot downstairs, right? I said, call what shot? He said, I don't know, man. I think he was supposed to, you know, get it in. I had one-on-one with somebody for some violations or whatever. But 2, though, I think they saying, you know, he don't qualify. Some dudes was mad that he was a blood. He don't qualify to be a blood because he a white dude, so he can't be a blood. I said, ain't nobody tell him that when he was in my cell. He said, I said, ain't nobody tell him that when he was in my cell. I said, all them blood dudes kept coming over there talking to him, breaking bread with him, eating with him, talking to him, got him doing homework, got him doing all this stuff. Now all of a sudden he ain't in the cell with me, and y'all tell me he don't supposed to be a blood, he a white dude. He was a white dude when he came in here, man. I said, man, let me tell you something, man. You go tell your OG, you go tell whoever you want to tell. I said, tell them when I find out who did whatever they did to him, I tell them I got to have them, dog. If they don't like it, come with whatever they coming with, bring whatever they got to bring, but let them know I'm coming with it, dog. Cause that. I said, man, that's petty. That's some childish BS. Ain't nowhere in the world y'all supposed to did that to that dude. And then at the same time, he being loyal to y'all. He done put his life to the line. He stand by all of that foolishness that y'all talking about. That man follow all the rules and regulations that y'all talking about, and y'all gonna disrespect that dude just because talking about he white. Y'all knew he was white when y'all was feeding him all of that propaganda, man. I said, man, let me tell you something, man. I'm telling you right now, I ain't gonna be playing with this. Let them niggas know I'm not playing no games about this situation, though. And I peeled off from him. He was trying to talk. I just left. I was in a fit of rage. That's all I could think about was, like, I felt like they got out on me. I felt like they played me. You know, I felt like they was like, yeah, we ain't gonna mess with him while he in the cell with Bank. Why, but as soon as he get out of cell with Bank, man, we gonna get him. So it was like all the love y'all was showing him when he was in the cell with me was fake. You see what I'm saying? And now that he ain't in the cell with me, y'all gonna confront him about his race when at the same time y'all been feeding him all this propaganda like y'all accept him, like he y'all brother, this, that, and the third. I said, man, that's some real BS, man. And then I felt like, so y'all was trying to play me too. Y'all was trying to play like, okay, he cool, man, we rock with him or whatever. But now since he ain't in cell with me, y'all think I'm gonna be like, oh, well, he ain't in cell with me, but nah, man, I'm loyal. I'm loyal. I like the little dude like a little brother. Y'all not gonna do that to him and then just get away. Then you ain't do nothing fair. I heard he supposed to been rubbing one dude, then how he get stabbed? Well, where the knife come into play? Why you got 2 or 3 dudes down there to jump on one little dude? You know what I'm saying? So, man, it just, yeah, it rubbed me the wrong way, man. It rubbed me the wrong way. They had me on one of them, you know, attitudes, man, that most people don't want to see me in. So I went in the cell, man. I was mad, man. I was mad the whole time doing count. I'm thinking about ways to I'm thinking about ways to dismantle these dudes, man, and it's just crazy. Because I done met Cody's mom and everything, man, and she feel like, you know, when you get locked up and you young like that, man, your family and everything, they worry about you because you in a different world. You in a dangerous environment. You in a different world. So I had met his mom and talked to his mom. She felt more safe when he was in there with me. She used to always tell me, man, look out for my son. You know, so I had all of that to deal with. You know, they saying word, man, they locked Cody up, man. They had to take him to the hospital. So I'm like, oh, man. So it was just crazy. It was a crazy situation. He sent word to the dude for me to call his mom. So I had to call his mom and try to tell his mom what was going on for she could call up here and check on him. Then she was like hysterical, going crazy. Well, what's wrong with him, Banky? Is he okay? And I couldn't even give her no information because I didn't know how badly he was hurt. I didn't know any of this situation. So it was just like, man, it just made me even more, you know, irritated about the situation. So man, I was just on I was on the warpath, man, at the time. And then I get out. When we come out, I go down there when they call wreck. I go to the block. I'm trying to call the dude that they call the OG, the head dude. I'm trying to get him out there. He's the head dude of the Bloods. He older than me. At the time, he older than what I am. So I'm like, you know, he's still playing, gang games. So I'm telling him I want to holler at him, you know. So he don't want to come out. He don't want to come out the building. So I sent my little homeboy in there, tell him, I said, man, tell him Banky want to holler at him, man. Out here, come holler at me. He said he ain't want to come out there. He ain't want to talk to me, right? Because he knew what, he had got the word already. He knew I won't do no whole lot of talking, you know what I'm saying? Because that couldn't be explained to me. It won't nothing they was going to tell me that was going to make me understand why they made that play, you know? So he ain't want to come out, man. He just ain't want to come out. So I'm letting them dudes in my block know, the ones that's already Blood, they coming and trying to talk to me different times, one at a time, trying to feel me out, trying to get, you know, a gauge on what I'm going to do, if I'm going to do something. And some of them, you know, not to disrespect them, some of them was, they you know, if they feeling like they got to go to war with me, they going to go to war with me. Now, that don't mean nothing to me, because you supposed to do what you got to do. You ain't going to win, that's for sure. But I'm not offended that you going to protect yourself, because that's what you supposed to do. Because I'm letting them know when they come up talk to me, I ain't really got no rap, bro. I done already told y'all what it is with me. I'm just waiting on the word for him. If he send word back to me and tell me you did it, then I'm coming to see you. So, you know, if you did it and you already know and I don't know, you might well, you know, make your move right now, because I'm coming to see you. You know, that's how I was letting them know what I was going to do. Straight up, because I meant what I said. So they was like, oh, I ain't had nothing to do with it. I was, you know, but you supposed to still ride with your peoples. You know, if I'm going to see them, I know if I go see them, y'all going to help them. So I'm just letting you know what the play is off the top, because that's how this, and I had dudes that rock with me, you know what I'm saying, that's going to do whatever I do, you know, but they know I'm not playing. You know, when it comes to a situation like that, when you make a stand, you got to stand by what you say you're going to stand by. And you got to be no less than who you say you are. And people already knew who I was. So anything less than that was going to be uncivilized for me anyway, you know. So anyway, Cody had went to the hospital, man. He came back. He was all right. He wasn't nothing really major. They had put him in the hole. I'm still trying to holler at him. He know what the play is. He know how I am. He don't want to tell me who was involved, because he know what I'm going to do, and he don't want to get me in trouble. That's a real soldier. He was looking out for me. Yeah, like in retrospect, I knew he was looking out for me, because he didn't want me to get caught up in a situation that he had got himself caught up in. But he knew that my loyalty was going to make me react. It was going to make me respond, you know, and I had to respond. But he stayed in the hole, man. He kept writing me, and I kept asking him, and it wasn't but a couple of weeks later, maybe a couple of weeks later, man. And this is when God always step in, man, and make things happen that needs to happen, but you don't know it needs to happen. And, man, they came in and they told me to pack up. I said, pack up for what? They said, you getting transferred. And I was like, getting transferred? I ain't put in for no transfer. They said, you getting transferred to a lower level, because I had been trouble-free for so long. They had started these levels of prisons now, and I was going to a lower level, which I actually ended up going, you know, back to Greensville. But I was like, I didn't even really want to leave. Not so much for the Cody situation, just because I was already in a comfort zone. I was all right. I was cool. I didn't want to move. But they was like, you got to go. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, well, who I got to talk to? Can I talk to my counselor about this? You can talk to your counselor, but you getting transferred. You got to pack up, you know. So I had to pack up all of my stuff. You know, when you getting transferred, they pack all your stuff up the night before, or the day or two before if it's the weekend. And so you don't have no property, man. You sitting in the cell with nothing. You ain't got your TV, you ain't got nothing. So they pack up all your stuff, because you already on the docket to get transferred. So you ain't got no other choice. That's where you're going to be at when the count time comes. That's where you're going to have to be at. They're going to move you by force or choice. Either one. It don't make no difference. But when that paperwork come in and say you getting transferred, you getting transferred. So they came in and told me I was getting transferred, man. I was mad, man, because it was the best thing for me. But at the time, I couldn't see it that way because I was looking to get at them dudes, man, about that situation. But I end up getting transferred. I end up going back to Greensville, like I said, and the Cody situation. He stayed in touch with me. He was writing me. I was talking to his mom. And Cody's a soldier, man. He was a young dude, man, but he had heart. He got out of the hole, and the dudes was acting like they was gonna try to get at him again, but you know. He learned some things when he was in that cell with me. He picked that Bethlehem up and he tried to get at them first. He didn't sit around and wait for him to try to get it. He tried to get at them first. He ended up chasing the dude around the yard with that thing and try to, you know, give him that work, and he ain't want it. See, that's how them dudes be. They with that gang stuff, but then when it get deadly serious, then they spread out, you know. But what he did was what he was supposed to do. He singled out one of them, and he tried to get him. He didn't wait for the drama to come to him. He brought the work to them like they did to him in the stairway. So he ended up getting locked up, man, and charged with a weapon and all of this and all that. And they sent him all the way up in the mountains, man. He went all the way up there in the mountains. And I ended up not seeing Cody again for years. I think that was like 2002, 2003. So you're talking about 13, 14. You talking about I probably seen him again like 11, 12 years later when I ended up seeing him. And it was crazy because the transition was so real. He had put some size on. He was a little puny little white dude, man. He had put some size on. I had him working out in that cell. He had started working out. He was bigger than me almost. He had just did a lot of things, man. His hair started going, and I told him to let that stuff go a long time ago. So he started shaving his head. He had a little size on him. He was working out every day. I told you he was smart. He was book smart. So he turned around and went to school, and became a certified trainer. He got a certified training license where he could, you know, train people and working out. And he was taking some college courses. Man, I was proud of him. I was real proud of him. He had, you know, denounced the gangs and everything. So it was just crazy, man, for me to run into him, and it became full circle because now he had became a man in prison. He came in penitentiary as a young kid. He became a man in prison. He wasn't a follower anymore. He didn't walk to nobody else's beat. He walked to his own beat. He made his own rules. He did what he wanted to do. I was super proud of him, man, as a little brother, man. And he talked to me, man, and he told me, man, that everything that I taught him always stayed in his head and always kept him focused. And that was just cool, man, to hear. And it made me feel good, man. I let him know how sorry I was about the situation. I couldn't handle that situation. But he was like, it all worked out for the best because he didn't want me to get in no situation myself. He didn't want me to do anything foolish. So it was just... it was a good reunion, man. And he's still like my little brother to this day. He locked up, man. When I made parole, actually when my homeboy made parole, Mon is also like my little brother, made parole. He was the one who let me know because he was going through his mother still contacted me while I was still in prison through the kiosk. His mother would send me messages from him. So I would send messages back. So he had sent me the messages that Mon had actually made parole. And I didn't even know it, you know, and that Mom was looking for me, trying to find my state number to get in touch with me, which is crazy. That's a story in itself. They always tell you when you locked up, you're not a human being anymore, you just a number. Well, that is totally true. Because if you try to look up somebody now in prison in Virginia, you look up their name, you ain't going to be able to find them. But if you put their number in, you can find them. They're identified by their number, not even their name. That's what they think about you in Virginia. So Mom was trying to find my number. He knew my name, but he was trying to find my number to get in contact with me. And Cody was the one who told me, which I ended up getting in contact with Mom too, which is now my best friend / little brother out here on the street. So it just was, it came full circle, man. And I talk to Cody now. He knows when I made parole, he got in touch with me. I talk to him often. He's getting ready to get out. He got less than 2 years left. He had a bout with the coronavirus, which was crazy. You know, he had to battle with that, but he came through because he was young and strong. But he's still doing his thing, man. He's waiting to get out, man. He's still studying. He's still book smart. He got a lot of plans and a lot of ambition for when he get out. He's still young, you know what I'm saying? Not young as he used to be, but he's still young. And he got a good future ahead of him because he's smart and he's sharp. And he survived this hell called prison, man. You know, he survived it, man. And the tools that I gave him, I'm glad they was able to help him along the way of his travels through that jungle that he had to travel through, man. So salute to Cody, man. One of my good sellers, man. One of the dudes I consider my little brother. He'll be out here soon. I will introduce y'all to him. I will bring him to y'all, put him on camera, let y'all can see him and y'all can see the progress in him. I know y'all got a picture of him now. You know, like I say, he was a puny little white dude then, man, but now he got a little size on him, little muscles with him, man. So, yeah, he's on his way out here. But, yeah, that just was a little story about y'all, man, about one of my good sellers. Since y'all always heard my crazy sellers, my wild sellers, but I was a good seller. You know, we almost, you know, had a crazy situation, but it worked itself out the best way that it could. You know, it was lessons to be learned in that, and the lessons to be learned in that is never ever be a follower, man. You always have to be a leader, because you following somebody else and you may not want to go to where their destination is. You have to determine your own destination, the way you're trying to go in life, and you got to be the driver. You cannot be in the passenger seat to your own destiny. You have to be the driver, man. So, salute to Cody, man, for being the driver, taking over, man, getting out of the passenger seat and getting in the driver's seat to his own destiny. And I'm quite sure when he get out here, he's going to do some good things, man. And I'm going to try to help him in any way I can because, like I say, he's like a little brother to me, man. So, always, man, be safe, be smart, make good decisions. I appreciate y'all out there, man. I love y'all, man. Team Banky Pound, stand up. I'll see y'all on the next one, man. Be safe.
The Banky special.
Yeah.
Pure deliciousness.
Pure deliciousness, man.
My name is Banky, man. Everybody calls me Banky. That's the name that I got from my grandmother when I was young. I'm coming out here after 30 years. Yeah, I ain't got nothing, but I'm gonna have something because I'm rich in personality. You know, and I'm rich in love. My family love me, and that's really all that counts.